Well, let's go.
Welcome back to the Real Screen Team. I'm Andrew Thomas. I'm here with fellow Mario, Christopher Johnson.
Hello, everyone.
And we're finally reviewing the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yes! I've been waiting for this one. The most anticipated film of the year.
And our first box office bomb that we're not reviewing.
Actually, yes, this is true. Yeah. Who would have thought this would be the most successful film of the year? Yeah. It's a good time to be a video game fan. Mm-hmm. It really is.
Yeah.
So, before we get into, the main film itself, I'll not give you a little overview for the series itself. For those that may not know. Super Mario, also known as the Super Mario Brothers, is a platform game series created by Shigeru Miyamoto and published by Nintendo. The first video game of the series debuted in September 1985. It is the central series of the greater Mario franchise with over 20 games in the series, along with spin-off games of various genres and media such as film, television, printed media, and merchandise, as you can see here. The series has sold over 380 million games worldwide, making it the 5th best-selling video game series and cementing the titular main character, Mario, as the mascot of the Nintendo company. The Super Mario games are set primarily in the Mushroom Kingdom, typically with Mario as the main player character, and he's usually joined by his brother Luigi, and often by other members of the Mario cast such as Yoshi, Toad, and even rivals like Wario and Donkey Kong, just to name a few. The games have simple plots, typically with Mario and Luigi rescuing the kidnapped Princess Peach from the primary antagonist, Bowser. As a platform game, Mario and Luigi have to run and jump across platforms and atop enemies in themed levels, and use a multitude of power-ups and items to help Mario and Luigi clear each stage. So, I guess we should go into how we were both introduced. Yes. Why don't you go first?
Mine was the 90s cartoon show.
Super Show or
it was
any of the other shows?
Well, I think it was Super Show with the live action in-betweens from the actual voice actors playing their roles.
Well, I don't think Captain Lou was actually the voice of Mario on the show.
Well, they had... I think that was mostly... they were the same actor with a couple guess.
But it was the Super Show with Captain Lou Albano playing Mario.
Yeah.
Well...
And I did watch that movie once. That infamous movie.
Oh, Jesus, the 1993 film?
Yeah, I was only interested in the Luigi love story with Daisy. That was it. That's the only thing I remember is that. I don't remember anything else.
Weirdly enough, that is actually the only thing in that film that was close to making sense from the actual games.
Yeah.
Because for Mario, it's Peach. For Luigi, it's Daisy.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's always been the video games. I mean, I got my Super Nintendo when I was around 4 years old. And the first game I ever played was Super Mario World. And from that point on, I've always been playing the Mario games, whenever I had a game system. Whether it was the Super Nintendo, the GameCube, the Wii U, and now the Nintendo Switch. I've always loved, the Mario franchise. And I'm finally happy to see that they're getting a movie, and a movie that did them justice. So,
yeah.
This one hits very close to home for me.
I used to play some of the video games after I knew of the cartoon, but my memory's been a little rusty since I haven't played them in years, so I tried to remember.
Any of the particular ones?
I think mainly, probably maybe the actual,
the very first one?
Yeah, or mainly the Nintendo versions where they actually had the CGI Mario going, and I think mushrooms are getting the stars. I'm trying to remember. It's been a while. Like I said, it's been a while. Or
sounds a lot like Super Mario 64.
Yeah, probably.
Which is one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess why don't we get into the main film itself?
Mm-hmm.
The Super Mario Brothers movie is a 2023 computer animated adventure film based on Nintendo's Super Mario video game franchise. The film was directed by Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelenic, and written by Matthew Fogel. The film was produced by Illumination, Universal Pictures, and Nintendo, and distributed by Universal. The film stars an ensemble voice cast starring Chris Pratt, Anya Taylor-Joy, Charlie Day, Jack Black, Keegan-Michael Key, Seth Rogen, and Fred Armisen.
Mm-hmm.
And now the synopsis. Mario and Luigi, two Italian-American plumbers, are transported into an alternate world and become entangled in a battle between the Mushroom Kingdom, led by Princess Peach, and the Koopas, led by Bowser. With Princess Peach's help, Mario gets ready to square off against Bowser to stop his plans to conquer the world and save Luigi, who has been kidnapped by the Koopas.
I thought it was a really good movie.
Yes, fantastic movie.
Yep. Basically, the video game, the movie, basically.
Well, yeah, for the most part, yeah. Which I think was the right way to go about it.
Mm-hmm.
There was no need for, this over elaborate plot. Just give us the thing that we know.
Mm-hmm.
Give us the adventure that we have played in so many different ways. But I guess we start to go into the cast.
Yeah.
Starting with the man himself, Chris Pratt as Mario.
I thought he did really good as Mario, although occasionally his Chris Prattness did come out occasionally, mainly when he first arrives into the Mushroom Kingdom or wherever.
Yeah, you're right. The Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah,
I thought he did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
There were maybe a couple little instances where you could tell it was him, but for the most part, you kind of forgot it was Chris Pratt. You're just watching Mario. And plus, I have to give a special little nod to the commercial for Mario and Luigi's plumbing service that he actually did speak in the over-exaggerated Italian accent. Yeah. And it was made as a special little thing for the commercial, to kind of...
And it was a bit of homage to the animated show, too, with opening credit.
Well, yeah. I mean, they used the theme song, but we'll get a little bit more into that. But I did like that. I think it was for the best that Chris Pratt didn't, and I would also say Charlie Day, didn't speak in an over outrageous Italian accent.
Yeah.
Because this movie is an hour and a half. I think after a while it would have gotten annoying.
Yeah.
So I think it was for the best that they decided to have a more, comfortable, regular way of talking.
Yeah.
But Chris Pratt really did well. I don't understand why so many people were so worried. This man is good at what he does. He's a professional, But then again, I think it's most likely because for some reason, some people just have it out for this man just because of him not publicly acknowledging, his opinions on things.
Yeah.
Some people can, actually not want to talk about their opinions, just want to be a professional and do their work. Maybe some people can get that through their thick heads.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I'm not talking about you, our beloved viewers. I'm talking about some people that have been very critical about Chris Pratt.
Mm-hmm.
But with talking about the big brother, why don't we go into the little brother?
Yeah.
Charlie Day as Luigi. He was perfect.
Yep.
Absolutely perfect.
Yep.
He perfectly played that cowardly, neurotic, but also lovable brother.
Yes. I thought he did good, although we don't see much of him after he gets captured.
Yeah.
We mainly just see him locked up and scared for his life. Occasionally we see him get flashbacks of his Super Mario, of him being bullied and his brother saving the day. That's the closest we get as to the character development before he decides to step in the final climax.
Yeah, that is one of the things we'll probably get a little bit more into, that issue later on. But what we did see of Charlie Day, it was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm really excited for what they have planned, particularly for Luigi in future installments.
Mm-hmm.
But both of them were perfect. You truly felt that camaraderie of them being brothers and, their love for each other.
Yeah.
That was one of...
And they were both...
For the people that don't think that there was a plot, that was a good part of the plot.
Along with Mario being secure about the plumbing business that they just created. Especially from his father,
Yeah, him finding, him having faith in himself.
Yeah.
Now, why don't we go into the leader of the Mushroom Kingdom? Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach. She also did fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'm actually happy with the idea of them making Peach much more of a true leader, someone, an active leader, someone who actually wants to be out there and on the front lines and, help stop the threat.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of that is due to how they've evolved Peach as a character in the video games. Because initially she was usually just the damsel in distress that had to be saved by Mario. Oh, thank you, Mario, but our princess is in another castle. Dear God. eight different worlds just to finally save this woman. And then having to get stars to save this woman because she's been captured by Bowser. Mm-hmm. And it's always usually Bowser. Mm-hmm. But now, as she's become a playable character in various things like Super Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, and even getting her own video game in Super Princess Peach, and even joining Mario and Luigi in some of the newer Super Mario Brothers games and Super Mario World 3D, she has become an active member in stopping Bowser. Yeah. And it's a good thing, you know. And I think it was probably for the best that she wasn't the one that had to be rescued this time around. I did like the fact that, you know, she was kind of the guide for Mario through his adventure to explain this world, explain the power-ups, how to, you know, do the platforming. And in the end, she also needs to be saved by Mario.
Yeah.
I mean, what are your thoughts?
I thought she was cool. She was badass. So when it came to the fighting other beings, including Bowser. Or at least when she tried to fight Bowser. Yeah.
But she wasn't the quote-unquote girl boss.
Yeah.
She was a competent character, but we didn't forget the fact that Mario is the main character.
Mm-hmm. And we got to hear more of her backstory, that she accidentally came here as a baby.
Yeah, which I would love to see them, you know, go more in depth in future installments. And the fact that she was pretty much raised by the Toads.
Yeah.
You know, all these little mushroom people, you know, raising her, and then once she became of age, made her the princess.
Yeah.
But with talking about, well, should we go into the villain or should we go more into the supporting cast of our heroes?
Yeah, supporting cast.
Okay. Well, with me bringing up the Toads, all these anthropomorphic mushroom people, why don't we talk about the main one? Keegan-Michael Key as Toad.
Yeah, you wouldn't really know that was actually him.
I know! My God, I've been a fan of Keegan-Michael Key for years now. You know, whether he was on Mad TV or when he had his proper show with Jordan Peele. Mm-hmm. I knew Keegan-Michael Key was good, but I did not expect him to be that good at changing his voice.
Yeah.
And he gave Toad a much more pleasant voice than the usual Mario! You know, we actually got a much nicer voice.
And a much nicer Toad, since he's usually annoying and pain in the ass. And always starts the trouble.
Yeah. He was actually helpful, and he was fearless. He wanted to help Mario and Peach on this endeavor.
Yeah, and was going to stand by Princess Peach when Bowser invaded.
Yeah. And God, I was worried for him when he was getting tortured by Kamek with his magic.
Yeah.
Plus, I think this particular Toad might actually end up becoming the Captain Toad in the Captain Toad video game. There were definitely some there were definitely some little calls to that version of Toad. I mean, him with the backpack, him cooking things with his frying pan. I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed Toad. Plus, actually, him kind of being the tour guide for Mario to see, you know, the main Toad city on their way to the castle. And him showing all the different shops and everything, and even him acknowledging another Toad named Toadstool, and it actually sounded like that particular Toad actually sounded like the Toads that we're usually used to. But now we get into a particular character that was brought in as kind of a reinforcement along with his whole kingdom. Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong.
Well, Seth Rogen's basically playing Seth Rogen.
Yeah. I mean, there were definitely some moments where I forgot it was him. This
is one of the better
Donkey Kong.
Seth Rogen's productions where he's not producing.
Yes. Oh, dear God.
He does better when someone else is producing his film.
Yes, truly. But there were moments where I didn't think of Seth Rogen. I was watching Donkey Kong, except for when he, of course, had to bring in his trademark laugh.
And it was mainly him and Mario being buddy cops, since they were like the only two that weren't captured by then.
Well, first they were rivals. I mean, this man, how many times did Donkey Kong actively say to him, "I hate you"?
So many.
But they finally learned to work together.
Of course, it was Donkey Kong that made Super Mario, since he sort of guest starred in Donkey Kong's game, saving Princess Peach, basically with a different name.
Well,
sort of.
Pauline.
Yeah.
Which we actually see in the film. We'll get a little bit more into that. Yeah. I mean, it was a perfect way to acknowledge the start of all these characters. Donkey Kong was the original character. And Mario was the protagonist that had to stop Donkey Kong's rampage. Though there may be some illusion that maybe both of them were morally ambiguous, because Donkey Kong was in the circus and Mario was treating him wrong. And then in Donkey Kong Jr., Mario kidnaps Donkey Kong, so Donkey Kong's son has to save him. Yeah, both very morally ambiguous, but usually they are heroes. And plus, I loved the fight that they actually had. It felt a lot like Super Smash Brothers, one of my favorite video games of all time, or video game franchises of all time. And plus, when Donkey Kong shows up, the best part of the whole film, we got to hear the DK rap. That was the one major caveat Seth Rogen wanted when he accepted the role of Donkey Kong. He was like, find some way to put the DK rap in. Yeah, they're finally back. Well, DK. Donkey Kong. DK. Donkey Kong is here. I'm very happy that they found a way to bring that in, even though it was mainly a loop of the beginning. I would have loved to heard the verses. But hey, it was awesome. And plus, Donkey Kong wasn't the only Kong we saw. We saw King Cranky Kong, played by Fred Armisen. Fred Armisen did a good job, though Cranky wasn't necessarily as cranky as he usually is. He's much more, in the games, he's much more back in my day. As he Cranky Kong is the original Donkey Kong from the arcade games. You know, there were often times in the games where he would acknowledge that, and that, yeah, you kids, you knew bunch, you don't have to go through all the weird stuff that, you know, I had to go through, you know, back in 1981. But I did like his role. Though I do wish they had maybe dove a little bit more into that whole feeling of Donkey Kong wanting to make Cranky proud. You know, just like how Mario wanted his dad to be proud of him. Your thoughts?
I thought he would. I thought that was a good arc for both Mario and Donkey Kong, with them talking about their fathers being disappointed in so many ways. Yeah.
But I think in the end they did make them proud.
Yeah.
Well, with talking about the heroes of our story, why don't we get into the villains? Starting with the man himself, the King Koopa, Jack Black as Bowser. He's the best part of the whole film.
Yes.
Absolutely the best part of the whole film. Jack Black truly became Bowser. I mean, he sounded perfectly like Bowser, like how we would expect Bowser to sound in the video games. You really could not recognize that, oh, this is Jack Black. I mean, he was menacing, he was dastardly, but he also had a bit of, you know, lighthearted comedic things involved with him. You know, yeah, he's evil, but he's also kind of a little bit of a lovable goofball. But let's not mistake the fact that this man still wants to conquer and destroy the world.
Yeah.
And make Princess Peach marry him.
Yeah.
I mean, your thoughts?
I thought he was really good. You couldn't really tell it was Jack Black, except for when he starts singing.
Which we'll get into that.
Yeah. But he did pretty well with his role. You could feel kind of sorry for the bad guy, because he only wanted Princess Peach to love him and marry.
Yeah, but when you do it by force, you know, love me, marry me, or else I destroy your kingdom, you can't necessarily feel too bad for him. I mean, there have definitely been various video games where Bowser actually joins the crew and helps stop an even greater evil, more evil than him.
Yeah.
But let's not forget, this man is bad. This turtle dragon man is bad.
Yeah.
And why don't we get into his second in command? Comic, played by Kevin Michael Richardson. Also perfect. I know Kevin Michael Richardson for his voice acting in so many different things.
My introduction to him was the Batman, when he voiced the Joker.
Oh, dang.
And so
not even Danny Phantom?
No.
Where he was the hunter ghost?
Oddly enough, I remember Danny Phantom, but I just don't remember him voicing. You know, that's how long it's been since I've watched the show. But the Batman, he did good, playing a Joker with a very different kind of Joker.
Yeah.
In a way. Who actually did sort of have a crush on Harley Quinn. So it was kind of consensual in that matter, and he didn't treat her like crap in that one. As
she's usually treated in everything else involving their relationship.
He started out as a big fan because she was basically a terrible talk show host. A lot of advice talk show hosts. Who mainly wanted to start basically like mixture of Maury and Jerry Springer sort of thing. Start drama. Which is why Joker loved her so much, because she liked to start
causing chaos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
and Kevin Michael Richardson, I'm usually used to hearing him having this booming voice, like how
the Shredder.
Yes. But as I have seen, this man has such a range as a voice actor. I mean, he's the voice of Cleveland Jr. for The Cleveland Show and Family Guy. His voice is comic. I mean, plus he's able to do great impressions.
Yep.
So
just like a James Avery impression for the final episode of Ninja Turtles 2012. Yeah.
So it was definitely great to hear Kevin Michael Richardson in this film. Plus, I still have to give him a major shout out for helping me get that autographed Sting action figure.
It's somewhere on YouTube at New York Comic Con for that panel.
Yes. Yeah, who would have thought the Shredder was my hero?
Although you don't see Chris, it's off screen. You can see him point to the person off screen. That's off screen. That's Chris off screen.
Brother man right there. Brother man right there.
Yes. I was yelling for that figure, dang it. Hey, I'm a huge wrestling fan, and I get an autographed Sting action figure. That's Raphael S. Sting. Come on,
yeah,
man.
we'll talk about more about that when we get the Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
So many versions of them. So many.
But it was great to see Comic and him being, the right-hand man as he's usually been in so many games. Matter of fact, he's actually one of the main villains in Yoshi's Island. And I even like the fact that they had him dress up as Peach to help Bowser in working out his proposal to her, as that's a thing from the video games.
Yeah. Like I said, my memory is rusty, so I don't remember any of that. And let alone that I don't play the video games as much as you do, so.
Yeah. But the cast truly did a great job. They did all the characters justice.
Yes.
They truly did. And you found ways to really enjoy them, find them lovable, but also, root for the good guys, hope the bad guys lose, and, have fun.
Yeah, it was basically, it felt like a little bit of the old 90s, early 2000s regular family movie from back in the day, where there's no real ham-fisted thing, it just happened.
Yes. It was just a fun adventure.
Yeah.
They weren't trying to push a moral on you or some sort of political leaning one way or another to try to, force upon you. It was just a fun movie.